just a better, more consistent finishing result. We saw they finished in third recently in the most recent phase in South America. They play slightly differently with their formats. But yeah, they finished third most recently, whereas it was sort of like a 5th to 8th finish for No Mercy. Looking to see exactly, though, what South America can bring, because this is a new region for a lot of people watching, and I'm excited to give everybody the rundown and see what it is that South America can offer on this big stage. And Brad immediately giving Drops a little old bump.
Yeah, a little friendly bump. Oh, but then down the other end, he's almost scored from it. Great control from him. And I just wanted to say that I'm going to go against you in your prediction. I'm going to go No Mercy Esports, because these guys, okay, overall, in the points tallies that they've been getting, they're both on 290 points. So a closer series, in theory, you could not hope for to get us going in the South American Major. These teams were right next to each other in the table. They were both joint 4th. So this will be a close one. This will be a good one. And there's a double miss there. And there's Firefox. Oh dear. One was in and out the goal. The other one was trying a speculative aerial. And it's easy as you like. There you go. Brad missed it. And then there's Firefox. Says thank you very much.
Yeah, Brad tried to give it a go, and then Drops also came in from below him. Both of them end up missing, and in the end, Firefox ended up getting that first goal on this secondary stream for the RLCS. Remember, there is also the Rocket League stream, so give that a little look if you want to have as much Rocket League action as you possibly can today. But otherwise, Brad can get that ball central on target, but Haberkamper can send it towards that back right corner. Firefox with the boost can come central, and Reppy moves himself away. The save away from Brad, but Reppy just going in for the fake challenge and gives up quite a lot of the field.
I've got to say, what I've seen so far, Nobles seem a lot more controlled. They seem more willing to take a touch when the ball falls to them. Focusing a lot on these solo plays, whereas No Mercy more likely to try and pass the ball to each other. That's a great attempt at the double tap from Drops. Didn't quite fall in, but he will try again. The touch is a little bit weak, though, from No Mercy right now. And I would say that, yeah, Noble have definitely started the better.
And that ball bounces central. Renan, one of the few LAN players in South America, does get the touch, and he could have doinked that in. Seg goes wide, and then back behind. Haberkamper feeds it central. Renan with the second.
Yeah, look at the speed that Haberkamper showed there towards Renan. It was actually a 1-2-3-4 as well. Beautiful passing play from Noble. They seem to be taking to this level of Rocket League very nicely indeed, because there's an added pressure as well. You know, suddenly everything is doubled. These guys will have their eyes on a World Championships, you know, towards the end of 2021, whenever it's going to be. They'll be thinking, we want to qualify there, we can qualify through there. So suddenly, when you're in a major situation and the points that you gain are doubled, not to mention another $25,000 to play for, the pressure is increased. And what I'm sensing now is that Noble Esports, they're buying into that pressure, they're using it to play better, whereas No Mercy are just struggling a little bit at this point.
Still early game though, both teams are still well in it. Just an earlier start for Noble as Renan faces off with Drops up high in the air. Firefox now stretched to his thinnest and well nearly send that in along with help from Haberkamper. That was a close pinch. Now Renan showing off his style. He's done well in previous seasons of the RLCS since South America's inception. He's definitely a player to watch, and Brad with a whiff opens it up, but Drops gets it away.
I thought for a second earlier when you were casting that a player called Will had entered the pitch. And you were like, and Will! I was like, who's he? I've missed that guy. But no, it wasn't to be. And now a Firefox takes to the skies, puts it out wide. Nice double tap from him. Another clean touch from these Noble players. Renan leaves that one and Drops comes forward now. You get the impression that No Mercy need to get something going as soon as possible. There's a few uncharacteristic misses from these guys, which they'll be keen to iron out as soon as possible. But right now they can't even do that. They can't even escape their own half because Noble Esports just coming at them time and time again. That's a slightly poorer touch from Haberkamper. Let Drops in, but it's read well by Renan, who's having a really good first game.
Yeah, Renan looking very mechanically smooth. Tries to go off the ceiling there as well. Brad hits it central. Firefox is just waiting to poach that, but it all starts with Renan getting the 50, then attacking from the ceiling. Was ready as well to get the dunk on Brad.
Yeah, poor old Brad. He did all he could, getting up nice and quickly. The ball was right behind him. It wasn't an easy mechanical move to even get a touch to that one, but unfortunately for him, the ball just ends up going right into the center, and that'll be as easy a finish as you like to make it 3-0 in this first game. Renan could make it 4 now, and this is the stomping.
Renan again getting himself on the scoreboard. Just that dribble from Firefox. Couldn't get the last touch, But Brad, again, a weak touch in the middle. Defensively, Brad needs to buck his ideas up. He's being pushed to do not even more than he should be doing. He's just putting himself into awkward situations and awkward positions, and he's not quite able to get the ball where it is best for his team.
Camper's touch is going to be read by Brad, who struggled a little bit in defense, but tries a fake against Firefox, and it almost works. Good to see that creativity and improvisation is still there for No Mercy. And there's a good touch out wide. Brad's going to be there for it. He's following it between Reppy and Brad. Brad goes for it. And Camper from the side, the defensive master for his team, gets that one away. And now we're in a position where Noble can just play for time a little bit, make sure they're not double committing, not doing anything silly, and they'll be able to see this game away fairly easily. And do you know what? Your call of Noble is looking dead on so far, because they just look like a higher standard of team at this point.
I think in Game 1, certainly, but we've seen this in the European and North American regions, in Rocket League in general, and in esports everywhere.
In ranked.
The first result of the first game, it can be an absolute stomping. This could be worse, ultimately, but it's a very, very good performance by Noble. It's not over whatsoever for the guys of No Mercy. A couple of chances in the dead for Noble to secure their 5th goal. Don't manage to, but not over. Just somewhat demoralizing, I think.
I want to see them focus on their transition game a little bit more. No Mercy. There's been a few occasions where they've tried to pass the ball out wide, which is the right thing to do. You know, it's correct in theory, but the pass isn't quite accurate enough. The player that's sort of moving down the wing isn't close enough to the ball. They're not defending as a team. They're trying to defend as individuals. You saw it there with the goal that I think we just saw a replay of, where Brad just put the ball out into the centre, and there was Firefox to put it away. I think that those defensive touches can easily be improved. It's a theoretical improvement as opposed to a mechanical improvement. And once they get through that, then suddenly we could see a much more solid No Mercy Esports. And that basis of solidity is what they can build upon to improve in this second game. So I definitely agree with you that this one is by no means over. Noble aren't going to find it that easy for the rest of the series. But what a start for Noble, though. They must be loving life right now.
Should mention as well that both these teams are on 1-0 so far. In the first round, Noble did end up 3-0ing their opponents in Not Exposed. However, there was a result from No Mercy where they ended up getting the win out of a forfeit versus Nocturnes Gaming because of a couple of scheduling conflicts. So they didn't actually play a game to get to this point, maybe coming in cold and hoping that won't affect their performance too much. But ultimately, Noble looking very good.
Ooh, that is a very good point, saying that No Mercy were coming in cold, but that was another awkward touch from Brad, a little bit central. Needs to be really careful. He's putting these ones out to the side because that'll make it much harder for Noble coming forward. Good touch from Reppy. He takes a shot. It's saved by Renan. It will fall to drops, though. So a little bit of early pressure for No Mercy, which is good to see. Is there a chance coming off the ceiling here? Oh, he would have had his dodge, I think. But Firefox came in from the side and stopped that chance. But what a great start right now for No Mercy. They're looking much more comfortable in the second game.
Yeah, it's starting to pin back Noble a little bit, but Firefox will work his way up the pitch, does not get the bump on Reppy. Haberkamper completely open in the middle, and 2 keepers in net. Had to save that. Renan Arby back in to get these touches, doesn't quite. But again, nobody there to challenge.
Yeah, Reppy was in a lot of trouble there. Thankfully for him, Drops did manage to cover the backboard and send Noble away, but there's a good touch there. Into the centre it goes, and high off of Reppy. Renan can take a touch. He's got passes in the centre if he can find them. Went for a slightly awkward flip reset and almost got it. But Brad closed it down well. That's a good touch from Brad again. So not only did he get the first one, he then followed it away and actually put a decent clearance in. Noble do come back again, but at least No Mercy managed to steal a few seconds away to get some boost and rebuild their positioning.
One thing that I'm trying to keep an eye on as well, Cole, is what you were saying about earlier with the transition game. Every time No Mercy get the ball, firstly, they nearly own goal, then they nearly double commit, but they also don't try and find a teammate at any point. They're sort of slowing it down, and then they're just booming it away to no real point. And that's getting quite frustrating to see. Drops trying to get the 50 with Haberkamper, who can just dribble it away quite easily. Now with the flip reset, doesn't secure it, bumps central, but Reppy getting involved with Renan. There's a few times I'd like to see a little bit more class come out from the No Mercy players, I think, because Noble, they are getting in the way as often as they possibly can and making the game their own.
Noble are also being a lot more creative with their 50-50s as well. When both players go in for the ball, 9 times out of 10 I'm getting the sense that it's Noble that are winning out on them. As I say that, of course, No Mercy get a couple of good ones in a row and it almost leads to a goal for them. But yeah, in general, when two players are colliding, the ball seems to be falling towards the blue half of the pitch, which are letting Orange in. There's a good shot though from Brad. The ball fell for him, and a good finish.
The redemption story for Brad. There was a double whiff from Firefox and also Reppy. Top corner is calling for Brad's shot, however. And that's the first goal just over half-time, and it's a No Mercy goal as well. Despite the fact they went down by 4 in that first game, they're not letting it shake them negatively coming into Game 2. Much better performance so far.
That's what everybody who's new to South America wanted to see, a nice close series to get us going, so we can really see how these teams fare when they're up against a close opponent, one that can do some damage against them. Brad needs to rotate out quickly to let Reppy in, but again his touch isn't quite perfect. That one isn't any good at all though. Drops comes in and almost gets it towards his opponent's goal, should I say. 5 to the SS. Brendan, that's a beautiful shot! Oh! Goal of the game so far!
I think that was a pre-flip as well from Renan, who comes in. Oh, no, it wasn't even a pre-flip. He jumped it in, air roll to the right, then as it hit him, then flips to the left. That was very powerful and a very odd goal, and that will bring Noble even.
So we like to see some creativity from these teams. Beautiful equaliser. That's a good pass as well towards Renan, who's now got the taste for goals. But Drops has managed to get it past his opponent. Reppy's in there. Can he get in ahead of
the demo?
Firefox? He can't. Is this one going all the way in? Oh, good read from Drops, because that one was a tough angle.
I'm just watching Renan, and he's so much more confident on the pitch from the looks of things. Again, they're calling he can get the bump on the keeper. Does so, opens it up for Firefox.
Oh, there goes Brad as well. Look at him fly off into the sunset. And then Renan doesn't just admire his work. He doesn't just watch Firefox hopefully put it in. He charges forward, goes for the bump. I love it when teams play in front of the ball. It's something when you see a sort of slower series of Rocket League, every player seems desperate to always be behind it, always be in a defensive position. But when these players start to play with enough confidence to be in front of it, so they offer a pass or they go for bumps or just create some space, it makes much more exciting games to watch and cast as well. So seeing Noble play like that is a really good sign.
It's Renan just in the back lines whenever he gets a chance, getting bumps, trying to just disrupt them at the back, even though there's not too much semblance of a clean rotation from No Mercy. Renan is taking the scraps and chucking them in the bin.
Oh, another touch from Firefox, just sending it high, asking questions of No Mercy, which for now Reppy will answer, put it into the centre towards Drops. He's going to go for the double tap, I think, but he couldn't quite connect. And Firefox can come forward. One more goal now for Noble, should kill it. An important touch from Reppy. Haberkamper was coming in, and I think that Haberkamper would have scored.
Renan trying to seek out a pass central, tries to go for the bump on Drops, forced him to jump early, so he can't quite get the best shot that he would like to. Firefox with the save, challenged on that right wall, now can be followed up by Haberkamper, who turns away. Reppy's then forced to send it long, and Renan getting in the way in midfield. Final couple of seconds now. We need a No Mercy goal, otherwise reverse sweep is needed. Firefox takes it slow, will drop it down with the help of Reppy. Noble, game 2, despite going down at the start as well.
Yeah, I'd say towards the end of that second game, Noble were making it look more like the first game did, where they were just a step above. But the good news for No Mercy Esports is that for the first 60% or so of that game, they were looking like the better team. You know, they had some decent passes in their opponent's third. They had chances that were so close to being converted. And of course, they had that all-important goal, which was scored by Brad, which will do his confidence no end of good. Sadly, for No Mercy Esports, the downside is that they are indeed 2 games down as we head towards DFH Stadium. And we've seen 2 different styles of play from Noble now. We've seen them with the bit between their teeth, having all the play, having all the boost, having all the pressure, and they didn't, mess it up. They took their chances. We've also seen them have to play a slightly scrappier game, remain patient, and they took their chances. So for Noble, things are looking really, really good for them right now.
I'd like to put the magnifying glass on Brad as well, because he had a good...
Good read.
He had a good chance in Game 2 to redeem himself, did so, and with this read, he does so again, grabs that mid-boost, tries to go for the original redirect, and then comes up above the ball to tap it in just 5 seconds into the game, and Brad with the biggest impact of the series so far.
Yeah, smart finish from him, and such an early lead as well for No Mercy. Now we need to see them continue to up this pressure and this momentum and really build upon it. And it's a good start, especially if Firefox's touch is closed down by one of them. It's not, and Reppy was actually diving back in the end. Drops puts it into the center. He has a chance for something mechanical here if he can reach, but Haberkamper, he is really good in defense, isn't he? Everything that No Mercy are chucking forward, it seems to be on Haberkamper to slow it down and beat them away. He's definitely got that role locked in for this team, but I'd say overall, much better start for No Mercy in the last 40 seconds, even taking away that goal.
Haberkamper to Renan, the first proper shot on net for Noble. Central from Haberkamper again, nearly below Reppy. Renan sends it high, finds Firefox, who can't quite get it on target. But that was 3 very good shots, all saved out of the way, and pinching towards the net. Reppy can save it. A lot of pressure building for Noble, but equally good defense for No Mercy.
Yeah, it is, and they should be able to reach this one. Oh, it's a slight mistake from Drops. He's missed that, but thankfully for him, Reppy was right behind him in his touch, gets it past Firefox, or gets it past Renan, sorry, but Firefox was coming in. He then goes for the bump. Oh, I love to see it. And that's 2-0 No Mercy.
Identifies Haberkamper as that man at the back to disrupt. Jumps as Haberkamper jumps as well. Opens it up for Brad just to send it on target. That will be going in 2-0. What a turnaround in this third game.
Right, I'm telling you, Brad is unleashed. We're about to see the real Brad for the rest of this series when No Mercy get their reverse sweep, which they are more than worthy of. Come on, Brad. Don't prove me wrong. Reppy's coming in for the side, over onto the backboard. Haberkamper needs to read this one well. He has, but Drops knew exactly what Haberkamper was trying. You're right. They seem to have the read in him all of a sudden. They're trusting him to make these awkward touches. Instead of trying to gamble on him missing, they're saying, look, okay, you're going to make it, so I'll be where the ball ends up. Really smart adaptation now from No Mercy.
Renan on the backboard. Does not quite get tucked away by Drops. Nearly over the top by Reppy. In the back corner, Brad sends it high on that right wing. Reppy can come in. Tips it over the top of Firefox. Can be caught by Haberkamper. Slows it for the dribble as Brad comes in again. Now Firefox, chance to go high. Does so. Attempts to get that dunk. And then will stay pressuring Renan on the left. Central to Haberkamper.
Oh,
Brad with another block.
Yeah, they've started taking touches. They've started realizing how much space that they have against Noble. And it's really working for them. These little tempting touches that they're making are just encouraging Noble to come slightly out of position. And as soon as that does, they're bopping it over their head. Smart play again. No Mercy have improved so much in the last couple of minutes or so. Really built upon the goal they managed to get themselves in game number 2. Now Brad comes forward up against Firefox. The ball falls down. Haberkamper's coming in. Just puts it round the world. They get to them on Renan. Oh, but Reppy can't quite get the finish.
Drops landed on Reppy.
Oh, no.
And just hit him out of the way. He couldn't resist bumping players, no matter the colour that they are. Drops now, chance to face off with Renan. Does so, but Renan will come out with the ball. Sends it high. Does not trick Brad too much as Haberkamper can fill it in, and Reppy for Brad. This is a lot more pressure now from No Mercy. Chance on target. Firefox sends it to the corner. Something that we have seen No Mercy lack previously.
I'm going to disagree with the scoreboard here. According to the scoreboard, Noble have had 7 shots compared to No Mercy's 4. And I don't think that paints the picture of this game at all, because all the pressure has belonged to No Mercy. Reppy is playing really neat and tidy Rocket League now. Brad in particular has stepped right up. The Drops is filling in the roles that he needs to fill in. They're certainly looking like the best we've seen them, but that down the other end could be a chance for Haberkamper. But then, when Noble do come forward, the defending from No Mercy has been so much better as well. And I'm getting the sense that Noble are starting to get a little bit frustrated in this game, because the tactics that were working before are just not quite paying off this time. Even a beautiful flip reset from Firefox. Reppy's there to close it.
I think the difference is, when Noble are attacking, they are getting to the point where they're having shots on target, and they are being counted as shots, whereas Noble are pretty much consistently... They're blocking out as many shots as they can before they'll register the shots. But Drops on this right wing, sees it open, jumps early, and the tightest of angles. God, that's good.
That is such a nice finish from Drops. No Mercy. This is the No Mercy that we wanted to see, the team that have got just as many points overall as Noble. They're certainly able of going toe-to-toe with these guys. One more goal in the last 40 seconds will really set them up for a nice comeback. Drops needs to beat Haberkamper here, though actually he doesn't. He just lets Haberkamper do it. He lets him do his damage, and then he's where the ball is landing. I'm just so impressed with their switching style this game. They're playing slightly more passive, and that won't work in the entirety of a series. They'll have to sort of try and shape the pace of the game a little bit more going forwards. But what it can do is just break Noble's momentum and get themselves a game. And I mean, unless there's a huge comeback, it might be starting now from Noble. This is probably going to be No Mercy's game.
And look how open Renan is there for the shot. That's the problem. So many times, Noble have had a shot on target, and then it has to be a save away from the goal. They have been saved, and they have been doing well, but they're letting a lot of plays grow into an attacking opportunity, whereas Noble are still cutting them out as early as they can. They've not done as well when it comes down to the line, but they have been doing better at not letting the shots register as shots on net. So yeah, I agree. We're going to need to see a bit more come out from No Mercy in order for them to win this series, but fantastic chance, fantastic showing from them in this third game to not go out with a whimper.
Yeah, I want to say that from No Mercy, as you mentioned there, Stumpy, I want to see them then try and regain the initiative a little bit more. But as for Noble, I think we're at the point now where they need to start faking the ball a little bit more. No Mercy were predicting what they were doing just a little bit too easily in that third game, but that can easily change as well. If No Mercy tries to play the same play style, they think, hey, it worked, it's a winning formula, let's not change it. Suddenly, if Haberkamper in particular, who seems to be the most red player on this Noble team, if he starts faking, going for a pass unexpectedly instead of shooting, or just your traditional hit the brakes sort of fake, then that could really pull No Mercy out of the comfortable position that they had managed to find themselves in. So a really intriguing spot in this series, as far as I'm concerned. How about you? How do you read what both these teams are going to try going forward?
I don't know what No Mercy are going to try, but I'm just going to say they need to defend proactively. Right now, it's all reactive saves. They're racking them up, and Noble are racking up the shots. And like I said, I can't stress it enough. They are doing well defensively, but they're just letting it. The one goal that Renan had in that game was just an open shot. Nobody challenged him. Nobody pushed forwards. Haberkamper earlier on, they just let him do his thing. It's all well and good reading it, but what about the time when you can't read it and then suddenly it's in? It's not a tactic that's gonna get them through, I don't think, and that's what worries me. But much, much better. Regardless, they get a win. Better than I thought they would do when we saw that game one.
Early pressure for Noble. And now Renan puts it into the centre for Haberkamper. He tries to get a little bit of a snapshot away. There was already, of course, a No Mercy player nice and deep in that goal, ready to save it. The transition was almost better. Drops came in. Couldn't quite connect. It's something we've seen quite a lot from No Mercy, where they've been so close yet so far to an infield pass or to a great goal, where the connection just doesn't quite arrive at the time that it should, and that has let Noble off the hook. So I'm hoping that now they've sort of got a feel for this game as much as possible. That'll change, but Firefox is trying to get the double tap. Drop stays very, very aware, and somehow No Mercy get away with it.
Did you see a single No Mercy player challenge him in the air? There was one, I think, but I think that was at like the midfield line. Drops though. He is being an offensive demon in these last two games. Sends it off that sidewall, calls Reppy off it. He's got it over the double Firefox. First goal once again going to No Mercy.
Yeah, it's Drops that got that goal of the series so far, the near post read on DFH, and now here on Utopia, that's another absolute banger. He's feeling very comfortable right now in attack. But you are right, there is still the question mark of how proactively No Mercy are defending.
They just have lots of space. They're giving Noble lots of space. And it worries me whenever I see that, because it just takes better shots for then No Mercy to concede a goal or two, where realistically, they don't need two men in the net.
One player that is closing down them well is the guy who's just scored, Reppy. He has been the most proactive at charging down the opponent attackers when they're coming in. And also in attack, off the back of that bump from Brad. Brad unleashed, I'm telling you, mate. And a decent finish from Reppy.
Brad got 3 bumps in that one replay, and I think all of them were on Renan, who has switched as well from the Fennec onto that Octane. I think he's running Stocktane too. So he just wants a bit of a clean slate, but much better performance here from No Mercy.
Was that a fabled triple commit?
Potentially.
Ooh, haven't seen one of those for a while. How exciting.
North America, baby.
Yeah, I love it. All 3 players going for the ball. Let's have some more of that. That's what I want to see.
You can tell you're a Rogue fan.
Yeah, that's true. I want all 6 players to go for the ball at once and for the ball to somehow fall into one of the goals. Nobody knows how it happened. That's my perfect Rocket League goal. There's Brad beating Firefox. Haberkamper needs to stay really aware of where this ball is going. You can see the difference, though, in what does work for Noble, with Haberkamper taking that touch on his goal line. I feel like if it was No Mercy, they'd have dodged that ball into the corner and then may or may not have got there. But for all the praise we're giving Noble, they find themselves 2-0 down and only now 1 game up. So it's starting to get to a slightly dangerous position for them. They need a goal, and soon. This could be it if Renan's touch is good enough, but it's just a little bit heavy.
Now Reppy on that left wall gets bumped central by Haberkamper, caught by Firefox, totally on his own. Can secure that double tap as well. Now Drops has to go back to that same corner, tries to fake out Renan, does get it back behind him, and then over the top of Firefox, who's read it slightly better, pinched away by Haberkamper. Reppy sends high. Haberkamper central, Brad is there to catch, over the top of 2, Firefox in the net, has to get this away, but intercepted by Brad, the pressure continues.
Yeah, one more goal here for No Mercy could absolutely end this 4th game and take us all the way to Champions Field. Let's see if it'll happen anytime soon. Drops around the side. He's got 100 boost. He's got teammates in the centre, and he's found one of them in Brad as he... Oh, Haberkamper. Such a good series he's had. He closes it down well towards Reppy, whose touch is as far as Renan. This one switching second by second. Who's got the pressure and who's got the momentum? Now it's Noble's turn again. Haberkamper into the centre, tries to set up Firefox. He does eventually, not quite how he intended it. And Firefox, he's got too much angle. How? Good effort from him. And this one should be closed by Reppy. Just wide. Renan. It's saved by Brad again. And Noble just cannot score.
Those triple saves, keeping it a 2-0 affair against Noble. Drops central. Renan again central. Haberkamper again central. Just trying to get this ball away as best they can, but nobody deciding to find a corner. And the shots tell a completely different story now. It's much more even. They've not been allowed to have as much aerial control. Have Noble. No Mercy cutting them out much more convincingly. And just a lot better performance overall. With just over 30 seconds remaining, there needs to be a goal very soon from the Noble lads. Otherwise, game 5.
No Mercy needs to cut out on these misses, though. Brad had no business not hitting that ball. And he is so fortunate that it didn't let his opponents right back into this on with 25 or so seconds left when it happened. But thankfully, he did get away with it, and game 5 is still looking very likely unless Noble can do something very, very quickly indeed. Haberkamper towards the backboard. Renan is just waiting underneath this one, hoping that Reppy makes another mistake. But it was not to be. And Stumpy, our first game that we've casted in South America, it's looking like an absolute doozy. This series is going all the way.
Game 5. And look, right, we looked at the first game. It was 4-0. And there was that part of me that I thought, classic. Classic, of course, is going to be a 3-0. But there was genuinely that thought where you can always think that, this will be a smashing. But actually, there were just those parts of No Mercy that gave us that hope that there is more and they can save more. There were some defensive efforts there from No Mercy that I 100% saw them conceding in game 1. And offensively, saw them missing as well. There was those 3 shots on target in about 5 seconds from Noble, and No Mercy somehow managed to keep them all away. But game 5 on Champions Field decides who in this Swiss bracket goes to 2-0 and who will then be playing for the playoffs in their 3rd match. No Mercy or Noble. No Mercy with that momentum right now, but Noble, I think, with the higher skill ceiling and capacity. This will go down to the wire.
I think I agree with you there, yeah. Momentum versus ability on paper. Now, you did predict Noble at the start. Do you wish to change your guess?
I'll stick with it. I'll stick with the Noble. I won't falter. How about you?
I'll stick too then, mate. You know, if you want to stick, I will stick. I will never turn down the opportunity to, I'll never be the only one who's changed. So I'm going to go with No Mercy here. I do feel like their momentum, can be super duper important in a game 5 situation, but they have to start well. I feel like if Noble score the first goal, suddenly all that momentum has gone out the window, especially if it's due to a mistake in the No Mercy defense, letting them in. That'll be so frustrating. In comes Firefox. He gets another touch, and he gets a beautiful double tap.
Oh, that class! Haberkamper sends it high. Firefox not challenged whatsoever. Literally every single No Mercy player in the net. And reading that angle off the ceiling ramp sends Noble ahead. That defense is not what we expect from No Mercy, but that shot is exactly what we expect from Firefox.
Yeah, that is so good from him, and maybe that's just a sign that Noble have figured out what was going wrong. They need to play some more of these double taps because the backboard defense hasn't been the best, I would say, from No Mercy. But Reppy's coming forward, gets a late touch, then he tries to dunk Haberkamper. He almost does. Brad comes in, but it's closed by Firefox, and a double save from Noble keeps them in it. Renan comes down the other end, but his touch isn't great, and that'll let drops in past Firefox.
There's been so much attack on both sides now. Haberkamper removing Reppy at the back.
Ooh.
That will then force, I think it was Drops, to go up much earlier than he wanted to. There's Brad. Brad then had to dodge the demo. It was that demo at the back on Reppy. Opens it up. Renan has been fantastic so far. Rocking the wildcard tag as well. I would fully agree. 2-0. Noble looking to regain that composure.
Is it too late for me to change my prediction?
Yes, it is, mate, yeah.
Okay, then I still believe that No Mercy are going to win this one, but they're going to need a goal soon. This clearance from Reppy has to be good. He almost went underneath this one. He did his best to tempt out Noble, saying, look, I've missed. When actually he was getting there all the time. He knew he was, did my boy from No Mercy. But Noble come again. This is the chance for Firefox. This could be game over. Well, not game over, but it could be a massive mountain to climb now for No Mercy, and it is.
All of a sudden, those game one feels are back. Reppy and Drops both going for the save. Double commits just not working. 3 goals in 1.5 minutes. Looking like Noble, they're turned back on. They've got a grudge. But can we see No Mercy clap back with something a bit more convincing?
You just don't get the impression that No Mercy are capable of shocking Noble at this point. You know, now they're shaken. What you're looking for is for one player to score a wonder goal, to do something completely unexpected, just to gift your team a little bit of momentum. And I'm not convinced that in this situation, No Mercy are going to have it in them. The player that I'd look at to make that happen would be Brad. He's certainly been their most likely scorer, and in offense at least, he's been looking their most comfortable, but they need something really, really soon, or else this game and this series could just slip away from them. It's a good pass, though. Drops down to Reppy. Brad's going up. Does get this read. He shoots it as far as Renan, and Renan's clearance is really deep into the corner, so Firefox can dribble away.
You know how we say sometimes that players' names in Rocket League can be annoying because you can't describe a play without saying their name. Like Speed. You can't say that he has got speed. A lot. Names like that.
Using Firefox.
You just said drops down to Reppy. Because drops dropped it down to Reppy, but it also worked as drops down to Reppy.
There you go.
And that
drops
down to Reppy. Once again, the prophecy, mate, it comes true.
Quick, keep saying their names as often as you can, and they will always combine to get the goal that brings No Mercy back into this one. A couple of minutes left, and they do have a chance of sending us all the way to overtime, and maybe even better, winning it beforehand. But they will still have all the skill in the world that's needed to break through their defense. They have to be so careful up to this point. There's an awkward touch there into the center. Drop's going to be there up against Haberkamper, but Haberkamper comes out with it. Takes it to the skies. Brad is trying to close him down nice and quickly, and he does. Now, that is what you've wanted from No Mercy from the beginning, but the problem is, Firefox comes forward, and what a read that was from Brad. I thought that was going to be 4-1.
That's exactly what I wanted to see from this No Mercy squad. Brad just taking the chance, going to be aggressive and getting himself known in the play, because otherwise Haberkamper will just run rings around you, and you cannot let that happen. Drops though, goes high, Renan defending, and the long shot from Firefox. As Cole says, that's probably series.
Yeah, that's got to be it. Fair play to them. They had to overcommit. You can see why Brad was there, but I think he realized pretty quickly as he turned around, I've made a mistake. That's probably going to be game. There's 3 goals in this one again, and unless we get a kickoff goal, surely, no way back for No Mercy. And a true fight has been shown here by Noble, because they looked completely lost in games 3 and 4.
Now Firefox sends it central, caught by Brad. Chance goes over one, but saved away by Renan. Haberkamper went to go for the boost and the ball, and then doesn't get either. So Reppy comes in to take charge. Central. Brad, chance for a shot, goes top corner. Drops there and sends it wide. The bump coming out from Reppy onto Renan. Haberkamper and Firefox teaming up to send it into that back corner. Renan with the boost steal too. Does mean that now No Mercy are going to have to try and branch out for a bit more boost. It's just chances are not showing themselves for No Mercy. And Noble are pushing the point home that they are here and they do want this series win.
Yeah, Noble have played this 5th game absolutely perfectly. Even though things were going against them, they started off explosively. But hang about, hold that thought, Stumpy Goblin, because here come No Mercy again. Drops and Reppy combining. This time it's Drops that's the goal scorer. And we have got 29 seconds left for them to get back into this series and give themselves a chance. It can all go away, though, so quickly, but that's a good win from Brad. Up comes Reppy up against Renan. Renan's clearance is good enough, but Drops will be equal to it. Oh, he's missed it, though. In comes Haberkamper. This could be the series.
Yeah.
And this time, it definitely is the series. Fruit go everywhere, and Noble are going to win our first.
Oh, Drops just missing and then doesn't go for the in and out save. Waits on the goal line, and Haberkamper can just get that neat double tap. Didn't have much boost. Very well done to get himself over it to get the angle, but 3 goals clear will send Noble into the 2-0 bracket. Congratulations to them. And No Mercy, the first game they played today is unfortunately a loss, as they did win via the forfeit earlier on, and they'll be going through to the 1-1 matchups.
Great start for Noble. 2-0, now only 1 series away from making the playoffs, which is absolutely massive. Remember, all points are doubled here, so all of these players will have their eyes on eventually making that final LAN, the $1 million LAN, the Worlds Series, what are we calling it? Are we calling it Worlds in Rocket League?
Is that the final event?
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah, it's Season X Worlds, I believe.
Season X Worlds. That is ultimately the grand prize over here, but there's more prizes in the meantime. Money for, each place you make in this major. And that's, it represents a great start for Noble. I was very impressed that when the series started to slip away from them, Game 5, they didn't try and play defensively. They didn't look shaken. They basically mentally reset and suddenly looked like their Game 1 selves again. I don't think that No Mercy were expecting Noble to come out that hot in game number 5. And once they'd got their 3 goals, it did really seem like there was no coming back for No Mercy.
And there wasn't any coming back. And Noble did a great job too. I think just bring it back to a position where they were back in control of that series, because No Mercy did start to turn it around. In the pre-show, if you guys were here, you might have heard us talking about 11s and saying, well, these guys are the best and they're going to be going through 3-0.
Oh, have they lost?
They have not gone through 3-0.
Wow.
Atypical have taken them down in game number 5. So 11s are now sitting at 1-1. That is the biggest result. That is Atypical taking down the biggest team in South America. So huge result for them. Otherwise, make sure that you all look at those results and get involved on Twitter. Make sure that you use hashtag RLCS and at RL Esports. We'd love to hear what it is you guys have to say. Otherwise, after this break, we are going to be back with more South American Rocket League for everybody to sink their teeth into.